got good skills. He just needs to get more aggressive. Front row needs.
He's going to have to be aggressive because these guys are coming together. The All Blacks, so they're in the tunnel, ready for this one. It's quite daunting when you see them. Well, as an opponent, is it daunting, Gregor, when you see the All Blacks lined up like that?
It is daunting, and a lot of times I've been involved with Scotland teams that you kind of give the All Blacks too much respect and you go 10 points down already. But Scotland have to focus on what they're doing.
OK, Greg, are you sticking with your prediction, Scotland to win?
I think it'll be a close game. I think it'll be very tough, but let's go for the Scotland win.
I think New Zealand by 20.
All Blacks by 25.
OK, well, there's a big show planned by the SRU tonight, hopefully on it, but certainly off it. And Andrew Cotter can play both Master of Ceremonies and commentator. He's calling this one with Andy Nicol.
Thank you very much, Gabby. It's a new ploy at Murrayfield. Turn the lights out and hope for the best. I mean, over the past few years, Murrayfield has seldom been a place of great hope. Unbridled optimism does not sit easily here, but today there is a feeling, just a feeling, that Scotland have a better chance than they have had for many a long year to do what, as we've said so many times before, no Scotland side has done before, and beat the All Blacks. That feeling is certainly not shared by everyone. It may be misplaced, Andy Nicol, but there is a chance.
Yeah, very much so. I mean, Mike Blair is obviously very important leading the Scotland team out here, but I share Gregor's optimism because there's a number of players in the Scotland team here tonight that would get into the All Black side. Mike Blair is certainly one of them. Ewan Murray up front, Nathan Hines, the back row. So there's a lot of players from Scotland. I've played in Scotland sides, as Gregor has, but probably none of us would have got into the All Black side. So tonight there is a chance for these guys to really make history here tonight at Murrayfield.
There's always a sense of the dramatic at Murrayfield before the game gets underway, and Scotland have got to try and make sure that their actions and deeds on the pitch match the pre-match fireworks and pyrotechnics. And it is a great show here. It's not a cost-cutting measure. It's all just to add to the sense of drama and occasion here for this Saturday evening game at Murrayfield. I think we're sandwiched somewhere between the X Factor and Strictly Come Dancing, but this is the home of more manly pursuits here on BBC Two this evening. Both sides, of course, on this weekend are wearing poppies there, as you can see, a day before Remembrance Sunday, and very nearly 90 years since the armistice now, and fitting that all these young men from both these countries and everyone inside Murrayfield before kick-off will take a moment or so to remember with a minute's silence.
Ladies and gentlemen, as part of Remembrance Weekend, we are asking you all to observe 1 minute's silence before kick-off, to remember those who have fallen fighting for their country and those who continue to fight today. To mark the end of this minute of silence, please be aware that an RAF Chinook helicopter will hover above the stadium for a few seconds.
Well, a serious and poignant silence, of course, in this rather strange and surreal atmosphere at Murrayfield, ended by an approach from a Chinook from RAF Odham in Hampshire. That ends the silence. And we are now ready for the anthems. First of all, God Defend New Zealand. there'll be light. A few unfamiliar names and faces in the All Blacks lineup, some old foes as well. Joe Rokothoko in there, and it's Scotland's turn now to respond. Well, a new international season always brings a hopeful edge to that singing, but will that hope of a famous win be realised, or will some new figures in black tell the same old story? One thing never changes, of course, when the All Blacks come to town, and that is the pre-match ritual. Andy Nicol alongside me has faced 9 hackers and lived to tell the tale.
Yeah, I mean, it's a fantastic part of rugby history. There's a lot of debate whether they should be allowed to do it. I think it's a fantastic part of world rugby. For these Scotland players, you've got to remember they're 90 seconds away from playing an international test match. They're 90 seconds away from playing the All Blacks. So they're going to be absolutely pumped. They've also just sang the national anthem, May the Flower of Scotland, at Murrayfield Stadium. So they're going to be absolutely adrenaline's flying through their veins. They just want to go out and start. They will watch it, but it won't affect them. It's intimidating for the viewers at home because our cameras pan in on them, but for the Scotland players 20 yards away, it's something that just happens in front of them, and I'm not being disrespectful whatsoever.
Sit back and enjoy. Ali Williams threw down his scrum cap as a challenge, and he will retrieve it with a final stare. It is a wonderful sight and a wonderful sound. But the last word before kick-off will go to Scotland, into the man with all the blings, Scotland's 4 times gold medalist, 3 in Beijing, Chris Hoy. No bike today, just a Scotland shirt and the match ball, and he waits in the wings. They're standing up around Murrayfield to acclaim Chris Hoy and all he has achieved in Beijing for Great Britain and for Scotland. A man schooled at nearby George Watson's. I'm told he was a standoff in his day. And hoping to inspire the home side to great heights. No doubt that the All Blacks are still favourites for this opening match of their European adventure, but no doubt either that Scotland certainly have the edge in terms of experience. That's despite the late withdrawal with a calf injury of number 8 Simon Taylor. His replacement, hardly a new boy, Ali Hogg, comes in to make it 9 Edinburgh players in the starting 15. That seam runs strongly through the backs, with the wingers Sean Lamont and Tom Evans the only non-Edinburgh players. Evans one of the quickest men to pull on a Scotland jersey, but will he get some space today? 3 new caps in the famous All Black jerseys today, and all in the pack. Loosehead prop Jamie McIntosh is massive. Kieran Reid and Liam Messam make up part of a very new look back row. In the back, Stephen Donald again gets a chance at standoff. And it's welcome back Joe Rokothoko after a wrist injury, his first test since the World Cup, looking to add to his 43 tries from 48 caps. And on the bench for Scotland, a former Canterbury player in Lockmat Mustin, two more famous Canterbury men, McCaw and Carter, wait for the All Blacks.
Still waiting.
And the referee today, well, it's a reunion for the All Blacks with Wayne Barnes, who last met in the quarter-final of the World Cup against France.
Okay,
and they had
are
a
we
few
ready
things
to
to say about that, but Wayne Barnes, one of the finest referees around, one of the youngest 29-year-old barrister.
Okay, we'll just check there, ready and working. Captain. Time you run.
And Barnes is ready, New Zealand are ready, and their European tour is underway. They hope it will lead to another Grand Slam, but Scotland too have hopes.
And away, release.
And they have the ball with Jason White first of all.
Taking it, wait one!
Godwin,
wait.
who doesn't have a huge boot, down the middle of the park to Asaya Toyava. And returned and taken well.
Back feet.
There's an opening chance, but not too much space. Scotland have been stressing that the forwards have to do the hard work first of all. Massive Jim Hamilton on the charge and a Scottish penalty. Blair take it quickly, and the support arrives, and through goes Patterson, and Patterson, nobody with him, and he's hauled down himself.
Advantage, 7 off your feet.
Scottish penalty coming.
Number 7.
A roaring start, and up to within 5-6 metres.
Relax, no advantage. Number 7 off your feet.
They have that penalty now.
What a brilliant start by Scotland, all about ambition. Normally you'd say get a penalty, settle it down, kick to the touch and start from a liner, but not Mike Blair. Look, he took it off, and then what a offload to Chris Patterson, and he actually was so far ahead, there was no support, but you almost Adam Thompson there, came in, went off his feet as you can see there, but what a start for Scotland. Ambition. Everything that you need for Scotland to do to have any chance against New Zealand, and Mike Blair, the captain there, personified that.
Well, Chris Patterson went through a spell where he simply couldn't miss, landed 36 kicks in a row between August 2007 and June of this year. And this is certainly not the most testing kick he has ever faced, and Scotland lead at Murrayfield, 2 minutes gone.
Exactly what Scotland needed to do to get the crowd here up on their feet. You can see that they're enjoying it, and that's exactly what Scotland have to do. They've got to just keep playing and trying to get the scoreboard ticking over. Tonight's game is all about winning 10 minutes, 10 minutes, 10 minutes, getting at half-time. Scotland must be in touch with 20 minutes to go, and then this crowd here at Murrayfield could become a factor.
Stephen Donald with the restart.
Hands away now, both sides. Back feet.
And a solid take from Jason White. Pump this time from Patterson. Plenty of time for New Zealand. Toyava again. Oh, and this time he sees the space. So easily it appeared, and men all around him, and the link man is Kieran Reid.
Advantage.
And Scotland interfering, and this time the All Blacks have the penalty. Oh, that's a very quick card. Is coming from Wayne Barnes to a Scottish player.
You're on the floor, cynical play, leave the field.
Nick DeLuca is flabbergasted, but he's off for 10 minutes.
I think it's the right call, but I would query whether Adam Thompson at the far end was also off the feet and was a deliberate, but we'll see in the replay. Wayne Barnes, I think, has got it absolutely correct. Nick DeLuca kicked it away when New Zealand looked like they were going to get quick ball.
Well, Nick DeLuca, who had a torrid time in the Six Nations back in. Graham Morrison injured. Scotland's form centre at the moment, but DeLuca will not take any part in this game for the next 10 minutes. Scotland down to 14 men, and Stephen Donald with a chance to draw the All Blacks level. Well, there is always unsavoury booing around Murrayfield for opposition kicks, but Stephen Donald pays no heed, and we are all square.
New Zealand 17 was led by number 10.
see it here. No, this is after the event. That was a bit of afters that Peter Whipper and Jim Hamilton were having a go. It was before that. Nick DeLuca in the tackle kicked it away when the All Blacks looked like they were getting behind.
It's a brave little terrier, Peter Whipper there, approaching Jim Hamilton. Long restart from Godman, and Whipper is there.
I think it was Keith Wood in the studio, Andrew, said that Scotland must take their chances. Well, they have done in the first chance, but I think one other thing that Scotland had to do tonight is not allow Scotland to go down to 14 men, because this All Black side is powerful. And after getting the momentum in the first couple of minutes with that breakout from Mike Blair and Chris Patterson and the 3 points, it's just allowed New Zealand to get a bit of momentum and field position.
Hamilton rises to claim the line-out ball.
Early lift.
The Scotland free kick. Early lift from the All Blacks.
First man. You were fine.
There's no hurry about Scotland just now. Every second eaten up is precious, but giving the ball to Joe Rokocoko, a dangerous game. The flying winger kicks.
Yeah, we talked about the tempo that it started with, Andrew, and running everything. Now for the next 8 minutes, they just need to slow it down, take the time of this line out, call a few injuries, let the props go down, just try and run this 10-minute clock down till Scotland get back to a full 15.
I've warned you, please don't go into the line.
It's pretty clear, and a chance for the All Blacks. Ali Williams starts the move. Now this is the danger. Oh, quick hands, wonderful play, and Joe Rokocoko keeps it alive.
We saw the advantage of an extra man in the back line there, because New Zealand did nothing there other than run straight and then pass and use the extra man.
Different ball.
Simple quick hands brought the overlap.
Come off the line. Come on.
It was also good defence for Ben Cairns. We saw Scotland have a benefit of having a fast outside centre, and Ben Cairns was able to get across and get them into touch.
And New Zealand certainly challenging that line out, and they've snaffled the ball.
5.
Scotland living in dangerous times again. The crossfield kick from Donald, and so much space out there. And the gather and the try for Anthony Tuitavaki.
Time off. Just check.
Just checking, says Wayne Barnes.
Yes or no?
To the TMO Graham Hughes, but it should be a fairly simple decision.
Well, let's have a look again. It was good use of the extra man, because obviously Sean Lamont would have had to be thinking about coming in field, because Nick DeLuca is sitting in the stands. Left a lot of space out for Tuitavaki here to take the kick. Yeah, try. From that angle, certainly try.
Wayne, Graham, you may award the try.
Award the try, thank you very much.
Simple as that. A first try for Anthony Tuitavaki.
Thanks, fella. Cheers.
And if Scotland wanted to survive the 10 minutes without Nick DeLuca, well, they didn't live long.
There's a good cross kick there by Stephen Donald. So much. Look at the space that Sean Lamont had to cover and Chris Patterson had to cover just with the extra man in the back line. There's so much space to cover. Good kick. Good kick, good catch.
Oh, it's a wonderful kick from the Waikato man. And it's a 7-point try and a 7-point lead for the All Blacks.
Just what Scotland didn't want after a very good first couple of minutes, getting the 3 points on the board, to then lose a player and a try. It's not what Scotland wanted, but they just need to now regroup. There's been no structure to this game so far, Andrew. Both teams have been taking quick free kicks, quick penalties. Now Scotland need to bring a bit of structure back into this.
So Phil Godman Keeping Dan Parks on the bench now. First choice, fly half.
Just hold, Captain.
Donald
Captain, just wait for
returns
your
it.
7. Yeah.
Ali Hogg waits.
Arrive up!
And Godman with the looping pass, and Lamont tries to see a chink of daylight.
Release and roll away, please.
And Scotland have the penalty. And Chris Patterson says, calm, calm.
Well, when they took the quick penalty in the first few minutes, they obviously the full complement on. Now, right decision, slow it down, Godman into the corner. Maybe get the forwards, have a little rumble here, come straight, something straight off the training pitch that they've been working on all week.
In any case, just beyond the range of Chris Patterson.
There's a lot of weight resting on that young man's shoulders there. He had a shocker here last year, again 2 years against Italy. But he's been playing well for Edinburgh. He's got his teammates all around him from Edinburgh, Mike Blair and DeLuca and Cairns. Big game for Godman.
Great line out to the back taken by Hogg. John Barclay looking at what's available.
Arrive on your feet.
White.
And away, Black 5.
And Jim Hamilton in support. Just chewing up the time at the moment, Scotland.
That's good, fellas. No hands. That's good back feet.
Godman's in the pocket for the drop goal.
But still, Scotland come through the forwards, through the middle. And marching up towards that New Zealand try line. They're weakened and a man down in the backs, but the forwards still have the grunt. Nathan Hines pauses and ponders.
5 black, just give a little. 5 black, 1 step, thank you.
And grinds to a halt.
It's good, good.
Just looking for one more big surge.
No hands. He came through the middle. Now back you go, 5.
Well drilled and draining for the All Blacks defence. Alan Jacobson picks and shovels his way forward.
Hands away, you've lost White. You've lost White.
Lost ball, All Blacks ball. The crowd don't know it yet. Listen for the groan.
Hold. He's offside, White.
Piri Wipu kicks himself.
Good discipline, thank you,
And
fellas.
Scotland kick themselves.
Well, it was a chance, I suppose, with the field position, obviously just 5-10 yards
Good
away,
around
but
the breakdown. Good around the breakdown.
they've just taken the time down because Nick
got the
DeLuca
line,
there
fellas.
sitting in the stands.
About a minute and a half remaining for DeLuca.
This is it here. Look, you can see his left foot. He's off the ground. If you're on the ground, you're out the game. You cannot do anything. That is cynical. 10 minutes in the bin. Good decision by Wayne Barnes.
10 minutes almost coming to an end. He is disrobing once more. Blair took ugly ball and tried to make something of it. Ross Ford lends his bulky support.
Back feet, fellas.
And again through the forwards, but knocked on. Adam Thompson has it. And every time these black-shirted hands get on the ball, it's dangerous, but a
Advantage was over.
knock on this time. Advantage was over. Rukathoka the culprit.
Knock on.
It does worry me when Scotland turn the ball over, irrespective of where it is on the
Second
pitch.
row.
It happened 5 yards from the New Zealand line. It happened there about 25 yards line, but with the extra man, New Zealand have got pace through it. Rukathoka obviously full of it.
Yep, no worries.
This is Jason White, Jim Hamilton kind of got in each other's way, but when that went to Stephen Donald there, if that had been quick ball, then Scotland would have been in trouble, but John Barclay managed to just calm them down.
Well, worrying signs for Scotland. Nathan Hines is injured. Very worrying signs.
Oh, yeah, thanks, mate.
When Chris Hoy was walking on with the match ball, I watched a fantastic confrontation going on because Ali Williams had thrown a scrum cap down and he went to pick it up and Nathan Hines walked forward and then they had a standoff, a staring standoff. No one would break the stare as Chris Hoy walked out, and it was just fantastic, and they will not take a backward step throughout the whole game here this evening.
Steve Hanser on the left, Graham Henry on the right, Richie McCaw in front.
Crouch.
Coaching staff and star player.
Early engagement.
Scottish free kick, early engagement in the scrum, so Blair so quick and alert. Tom Evans is quick, but nothing he can do there.
And a release.
A little chip too long. And a leisurely touchdown for Toiava. And now, well, New Zealand taking this quickly as DeLuca waits in the wings.
Bring them on, bring them on.
Kick straight down the middle.
Inside.
Tom Evans waits for it. For himself to chase.
Your man knocked you off your feet.
Ali Hogg getting penalised there.
You.
He got there, and what he's saying is he's been hit from behind and he's just gone over. But it doesn't matter how you end up on the ground. If you go off your feet, you're going to get penalised. It's a late call for Ali Hogg. He only got called in a couple of days ago with an injury to Simon Taylor. I think it was only yesterday, in fact. Very, very good international player. One of these players who he just steps up because he's got such a very good rugby brain.
Nick DeLuca back on, Scotland back up to 15 men. They have yielded 7 points in the interim. We were talking beforehand to Mike Brewer about Simon Taylor and Ali Hogg, and he said Simon Taylor certainly in defence is fractionally stronger.
Oh, very much so. His work rate, Simon Taylor's phenomenal, but for me it's also a psychological thing. Some of the younger players, Tom Evans on his first start here at Murrayfield, DeLuca, Godman, Cairns, you standing in that change room and you see Simon Taylor, that gives you a boost.
Hold fellas, stay 15.
This time it was Boric who took the line out. Donald again on to Manonu, and this is Toiava. And Toiava almost through and back to Nonu.
No knock on, Dixie.
Tuatavaki, the try scorer, keeps things going. This is Liam Messam and Kevin Mealamu, the captain, and Jimmy McIntosh. Well, Tom Evans takes down the 20-stone giant. Still All Black ball and deep in the Scottish 22.
Five scrum.
This is the move here at the end.
In the tackle, knock on.
Bit of a weight difference here, but Tom Evans did exactly what wingers have to do. If you come off your wing, and by doing that, leave an overlap, you must make sure you get man and ball, and that's exactly what he did here. He's had a good start, actually. He's not had to do much, but what he's done well. He's an exciting player that if he gets a chance, ball in open space, he really has speed to burn.
Nine middle, he's watching too. Crouch.
Middle, straight feeds at the scrum, we're told now.
Touch. Pause. Both sides.
Not much of a pause there.
Hands down, fellas. Hey, take your own play. Here we go. Gentlemen, balance, please. Both sides.
No, the rain, which we were promised at 6 o'clock, has just arrived.
Crouch.
Ewan Murray.
Touch.
And Mike Brewer said he's the best tight head in the country at the moment. And he's up against the massive Jamie McIntosh, the All Blacks loose head. As a tall man, 6'5".
Well, I mean, to tell you how big McIntosh is, he makes Ewan Murray look small, and Ewan Murray is massive himself, and he's having a good season down at Northampton, and he's got a big season this year. He needs to step up. A lot of people are talking about him being in the Lions next summer. He needs to prove it.
Early engagement.
Black one, Jamie McIntosh, early engagement.
And that might be a sign if he's a bit worried about Ewan Murray. He wants to get the hit on to Ewan Murray. He can't go down before Wayne Barnes, the referee, says engage, and he's maybe just a wee bit nervous about facing up to what Ewan Murray's got.
Captain of Southland, farmer from Invercargill, Scottish grandparents.
He must allow me to engage.
How did that slip through the net?
Massive net.
Gaps, please, White. Gaps.
Not much ground made by Scotland. Mealamu, the captain, finds Adam Thompson but Scottish interference.
Put him in the air, leave him alone.
And a penalty, a very kickable penalty.
Lineouts are very competitive these days, but one thing you cannot do is when you're in the air, you can't take the opposition. You see Adam Thompson gets that. Jason White, I think it is, who was thrown up there, tries to get hold of him, and you just can't do it. Mainly because it's so dangerous. If you get taken in the air and you're not coming down, you can land on heads and necks and backs, and horrible injuries can occur.
Yeah.
I wonder if they coach you to make the groaning, hard done by noise as you're the man in the air being taken down, just to make yourself perfectly known to the referee that you're having a bit of trouble. Well, you can see the rain there. Makes things just a little bit more difficult for Stephen Donald. Good side for the right-footed kicker. That's a grand kick. Beautiful kick from Stephen Donald. And the All Blacks lead is 10.
Scotland need to score next, Andrew. They need to get a foothold of some description in this game. They can't allow this All Black side to get away from them.
Chase from Tom Evans and a mistake from Mialamu.
He just looked up. He looked up and he did what you cannot do. You can't think what you're about to do next before you've secured this white ball when it comes out the sky. Watch him here. He's on his eyes right there, and then he looks away and he looks to see what he was going to do with it and who he was going to hit. There it is. He just takes his eyes off it. Tom Evans was putting some pressure on him.
Same ball.
The scrums have been an absolute mess so far. Not many of them have gone through to fruition. They've all been going down, coming around the side. There's been early engagements. There's been collapsing. It's been an absolute mess.
Crouch. Touch. Pause. Engage. Middle. Let's go.
Oh, well, it's lost. Mike Blair was
Resets to him.
bickering away, and Scotland have actually got away with that.
This side gone down.
Wayne Barnes so far has got the front rows coming very close together, and I don't think Scotland will want this. You saw in the last scrum how low Scotland got. That Scotland want the engagement, they want the hit, because they believe they can get a bit of a nudge on here. And if you can control the scrum, look where the line out. The back line has to be now 5 yards behind the back foot. Most scrum of the scrum.
Number one, round the outside.
Well, number one again.
Put your arm on the floor and then you come on the outside. That caused a collapse.
A look of utter disbelief from the farmer.
Get your head in the scrum.
From the South Island.
Boys, hit and drive, hit and drive.
Let's get the early thoughts of Keith Wood as we wait for this penalty.
Murray's in a very strong position at every single scrum. He's very tight, low, ready to the ground, and poor McIntosh from his 6'4" height doesn't seem to be able to get any power behind his hit, and he's late on it all the time. His bind seems to struggle, and he's not in a strong position.
Sure that hold stays there for you as
Murray,
well.
I think, is in serious form at the moment.
Well, if Scotland are to have any chance, these kicks have to go over. Relatively straightforward for a man of Patterson's prowess. And go over it does. Scotland nibble away at the lead.
Well, I said they had to get the next score, and they've got it. And then they now need to get the next one. You know, the reason I say this, it might sound very obvious, but you can't allow a side as good as any All Black side, even this one here tonight. If they get away from you, the confidence just then flies through them. Scotland must be right in this game by half-time.
Donald's kick not claimed, but it is now by those black shirts. And they have this platform. McIntosh, good hands onto Kieran Reid. Rokathoko tries to keep it alive with a bit of footwork, but it was knocked on anyway. Scotland attack from deep, and John Barclay sees a bit of space. Nobody there to take it. Now there isn't Ben Cairns.
Arrive up, Wise and away too. Hands away. On his feet, first match.
Oh, taken by Thompson. And Manonu now. Here's Donald. Now Richard Kahui, juggles with it. And just lost it forward.
You can almost hear the gasp around this Murrayfield crowd when Scotland turn over ball, because you just know how many dangerous runners the All Blacks have. But again, good ambition from Scotland. They got the turnover, they got the ball from Rokokoko when he kicked it through. Frank Hadney in the yellow, right in the middle. He's got Mike Brewer on his right and Sean Lenine to his left. And I don't think they'll be that disappointed. They'll be very disappointed that Nick DeLuca was in the stands for 10 minutes and they conceded a try, but they'll be very pleased with the ambition that they've started with and the tempo that they're trying to play at.
Crouch, touch, pause, engage. That's just feet. Feet went away.
Lull in proceedings. Worth pointing out that Mike Brewer now in the Scotland coaching staff. I remember watching Scotland in 1990 against New Zealand. 18 all, couple of minutes remaining. Mike Brewer, miles offside, penalty, Grant Fox, New Zealand won.
He tried to tell me earlier, Andrew, that the laws in the day, the laws at the time allowed it to be not illegal.
Stay on 7, full on.
Anyway, solid Scotland scrum.
Take him back in. Stay on the players, Dixie.
That's a good take by Tuatavaki, the North Harbour man, leaping high. And Wipu makes the best of it. Now Rokokoko and on to Richard Kahui.
Just no space there for Kahui to do anything. Chris Patterson there, very experienced player, obviously, a number of caps. Look at him, there's no way he's going to get round him. Nice textbook tackle into touch. Scotland now can start the game again.
Rory Lamont out with a shoulder injury. He expects, talking to him before the game, he expects to be back for next week.
On 15, get him 15-7.
Blair inside and Evans takes the hit. And turnover ball again and danger again. Kahui, the kick and the chase. And the chase is on from Tuatavaki. And now for anybody to claim it, and there it is for Wipu. And the try for the All Blacks amidst the chaos. Piri Wipu seized upon the ball.
Well, I've said turnover so far, everyone gets very anxious, and we've just seen why. Because as soon as you turn over ball, your defence is not in shape, there's no structure to it, and a kick through can always do you. Look what's happening here. DeLuca and Tom Evans got into each other's way, really. It was probably a bit of obstruction, but then it was just stolen by Williams. And there's no one now. Chris Patterson is full backs, obviously up in the line, and the kick here then comes from Kahui. No one back there. It's just now a foot race. And Godman and Lamont are trying to get it. This is the end of it. It's bobbing about. Wipu manages to pick it up. Patterson tries his best, but Waite just gets him over. A poor try for Scotland to give away because they had possession.
Credit to Boric for stealing that ball, and Wipu is almost 15 stone, no stopping him there. And a bit of a shank from Stephen Donald, an ugly kick. But still New Zealand's lead grows.
You can see it here, there's no one at home, and Chris Patterson's up in the attacking line. There's no, look at the space, there's absolutely nothing there, and then it becomes a foot race. And then it was going to take a lucky bounce or a very brave player, but unfortunately it popped into Wipu's hand and another try for New Zealand.
And here is Wipu with a mighty thump. Just that danger that the All Blacks have when they get the ball, not just in turnovers as well, but the back line. It's been seen many times before, but whenever black shirts in the back line get the ball, they seem to have so much danger about them.
Same as up there, off the arm, please.
Again, quick take by Mike Blair. Now, who's with him?
And now release one. Just come this way, thank you, Seven. Stay there, Seven.
Ben Cairns and Patterson. Manonu embraces him.
Number 5, number 1.
The All Blacks are not whiter than white, a few penalties as well.
Let's roll away, please.
They're also so physical in the contact stage. You've been asked over the years, you know, what makes New Zealand so good is they just do the basics so well. There's nothing particularly flash, but they're so committed at the contact phase, and it doesn't matter which set of players are in the black jersey, but obviously Richie McCaw, who's in the stand here today, is unbelievable when it's in contact phase, and they're so committed. And you know, guys like Godman and DeLuca and Cairns here and Tom Evans will never have played in a more physical game here than we're seeing here tonight, Andrew, because I don't know, in my experience the All Blacks hit harder than anyone else. I don't know why, but collectively they just hit you so hard, and they just the lack of time you have makes that very, very difficult.
Scotland living on scraps at the moment, just the penalties of Patterson. And one more badly needed. Just wide, sliding away, and all such kicks have to go over today for Scotland.
You do, and Keith said before in commentary, he said at the top of the programme that Scotland need to be error-free. Now, Scotland been anything other than error-free so far. Too many turnovers resulted in 2 tries, and Scotland can't afford to do that.
Just went backwards under the body of Blair. Scotland got away with that one, and Ross Ford uses that muscle, and Ford is free with just one man with him, Patterson. But there's so many black shirts back there as well. Scotland badly need a try. Lamont's coming through in the angle, using his strength. And the roar grows around Murrayfield again. Desperate hope around the ground, 5 metres away. And plenty of men out there. Ali Hogg goes himself and spills. DeLuca gathers. Oh, Godman is flattened, but he got the ball away. Side entry, Scottish penalty coming, and there it is. And this is going to be a yellow card for an All Black. And it's Anthony Boric, the lock forward.
Lots of penalties, that's deliberate.
That's, again, a good decision by Wayne Barnes, because it's the field position, it's where it's happened 4 yards from the New Zealand line. If that happened down the pitch, I'm not sure that would have been a yellow card, but that's a good decision by Wayne Barnes, because it was a scoring opportunity for Scotland.
Scotland call for the scrum.
This is it, near the end here. Godman out the side door. I don't know why he needed to do that. A simple pass, but look at this tackle by Nono. He just wrapped John Barclay up. Great tackle by Manono.
Come closer, Blue.
Boric coming in from the side, and he's off. And Scotland have the scrum.
Extra man in the scrum. They've had a bit of this end and say, as Keith Wood explained. McIntosh is under severe pressure there, and he's trying to exert himself now on Ewan Murray. But again, it's another good reason to take the scrum, because of the offside line now for the New Zealand back line is behind their own try line. So if they decide to go to the backs, they've got a chance. But I think they might go for a pushover try here from Scotland. Pushover try, Scotland against the All Blacks.
Middle.
Steady, Andy.
Second. Crouch. Touch. Balls engage.
Well, Wayne Barnes could not be in a better position.
Relax, pressure off. This foot just went away. Let's come in a little. His foot slipped. Come in, please. No problem. That's why I called it as a slip.
That's what I'm talking about. Look where there's a bit of space there for the backs to exploit, because the All Blacks have to be behind their own line, because it's a 5-yard offside line.
Scotland look for the heave and they get it, but the ball's not there. It's come back on the All Black side. And Weepu, well, Weepu's in trouble now. And Scotland will have the scrum. Weepu taking on a little bit too much.
I'd like to see how Scotland lost that scrum. You very rarely see scrum against the head. It's in. I don't think that was hook. I don't even think Ross Ford went for the hook there. He just went because they had the extra man. He just went for the push.
Square and high.
A mystery.
Crouch. Touch. Balls engage.
Well,
Far side,
they will do it one more time.
Same ball. The footage is bad underneath. I'm going to get you closer, okay? Let's get closer. It's slippy underfoot. Bit closer, please, Captain. Thank you. Crouch. Touch. Balls engage. Yes.
Slippery underfoot. And the scrum is down again. No option for Scotland but to go. And Blair on spills. Not forward by much, but forward by enough, and Scotland's chances lost.
Well, 34 minutes in the game, and the Scotland captain's first mistake. He's had a fantastic first half.
I'm going to keep you that close apart.
He just doesn't quite ever get it, does he? He just takes his eyes off it. Not sure it was a guaranteed score because Wipu was coming across here, but again, bit like Mialamo a few minutes ago, he took his eyes off the ball. And this period of pressure with a numerical advantage to Scotland looks like, for the moment anyway, it's going to come to nothing.
Closer. Want you closer, Blue. White, come up and come closer. Thank you. Let's form up, please.
New Zealand actually heavier fractionally in the scrum, but most of that belongs to Jamie McIntosh.
Balance, please.
John Afoa on the tight head for the All Blacks is a heavy man as well. But there's the man known as Whopper.
Yeah, and you can see Manonu's come on to the open side flank just to give an element of bulk. Maybe not great technique, but an element of bulk.
The scrum is messy again, and Scotland's advantage.
Knock on by 8.
They will have the scrum. The minutes are disappearing and dying away in this first half, but still Scotland are camped on that All Black line.
Well, they've got a second chance, second bite of the cherry. They tried a back row move, 8-9, and it fell down before. I wonder if they'll try something different. Will they try the back line, or will they go for this elusive pushover try? I don't think they've got it. I don't think they've got the weight advantage that we maybe saw in the first few minutes.
Well, the scrum is so unstable this evening. And it's dangerous as well. The crowd are booing, but when it's slippery underfoot.
It's not that slippery. I was out in the pitch. Murrayfield's always been a firm pitch. There's only been a light smur, as we call it here in Scotland. I can't see the footing being a problem. I just think Keith had talked about it. What McIntosh is trying to do is take away the impact of Ewan Murray. He's trying to stay high, and Ewan Murray, look at him, he's trying to get very low and exert the pressure from that position.
This time Scotland have a little bit of a squeeze, but they're going to go no further than that, so the backs have a chance. Godman into DeLuca, slithers his way forward, and again, and is there an opening? Lanham crashing in, but fierce defence.
Don't dive in, just stay there, it'll come back.
And still no closer to the All Blacks line. On the blind side, a little wonder for Godman. Look at those hands trying to get that ball back for the All Blacks. Adam Thompson giving a ticking off, and ever closer. Ross Ford, and that ball comes pinging back, and it's the All Blacks again, and it's a familiar tale. Even from this deep, they're dangerous. Rokothoko, and the chip forward. Toyava, now what a race. And suddenly Scotland are in real trouble. And they just survive with a loud blast of Wayne Barnes' whistle.
They just survived. That is a dumb penalty from New Zealand's point of view,
Number 8
because
put himself on the wrong side of the ball.
about 12 of Scotland players were still in front of that ruck when the penalty occurred, and all they were going to do was kick it out, and there would have been a great chance for New Zealand to attack. Now here's another turnover. You see A lot of pressure, so much pressure exerted there. Lamu gets on the ball, and then again, as soon as this went away wide, you thought this was going to be another foot race. You can see him here. There's Rokokoka comes on a short ball, good kick by Toiava, and then Mike Blair, the captain, comes out of left field here, but a penalty for New Zealand allowed Scotland just to take the steam out of it, and there's a lot of tired bodies out there now because that was exhausting play from both sides.
Just finding touch despite the efforts of Toiava. Keith Wood, quickly, just put on your coaching hat and tell us how you would play this from a Scotland point of view. Just pause for a moment while Ben Cairns attacks, and Scotland have ball through Lamont. And will the ball beat him into touch? Oh, Lamont, his footwork denies him. And a good tackle coming in, Cairns on Tuitabaki.
Move 6.
Wipu with the box kick. Get into touch, it goes.
You just need a bit of luck as well. You need a bit of luck just for the ball to bounce up. Lamont gets the ball here.
Let's give yourselves a little bit of room.
From a bouncing kick, chips it over. He's now got open field. Can't really see from that angle, but he tried to kick it with his left, then his right, and he's missed with both, unfortunately.
Scottish line out taken well at the back.
No hands. Ball was out. Ball was out.
Approaching the final move of the first half, and Alan Jacobson chunk rumbles forward.
And release, Kevin. Thank you.
The looker, Patterson attacking at pace, and Tom Evans takes ball and tackle from Toiava.
On the side. 10, back you go. Thanks,
Still
mate.
Scottish
No
ball.
worries.
All Blacks defence up so quickly. So Jim Hamilton tries to punch a hole.
Now. You're trapped. No worries. Just stay there. Thanks.
Last passage of play of the first half now. John Barclay past the injured and the fallen. And Toiava's in a bit of trouble there. Blair pays no heed, and Evans with a chip, and Tom Evans with a chase. Wipu is there. The ball is there, but it's claimed by Wipu eventually. And that will bring an end to this first half, a first half which has offered the occasional glimpse and glimmer of hope for Scotland, but has also seen a couple of tries for the All Blacks.
Yeah, those tries have come from Scotland's turnovers, and you just can't do with people like Rokokoka there. And too many mistakes from Scotland. They've done a lot of good things though, but too many mistakes, and it's given a half-time score like that.
Scotland 6, New Zealand 18. Still a chance in the second half for the home side.
Andy's there as well.
And there's relentless pessimism from the studio for Scotland's chances. Andy Nicol, are you a more optimistic soul?
Well, not really. I mean, 18-6 scoreline wouldn't suggest otherwise. I mean, Scotland just can't make the same mistakes as they've done the first half, or this side could blow them away in the second half here. You know, I've said it already in commentary, the first half, that Scotland must get the next score, and that's even more so the case. They didn't get it with all the pressure they had at the end of the first half. They must get it early.
Corey Jane has brought his mullet to proceedings, full-back, replacing Isaiah Toiava, the Wellington man, who made his debut last week as a replacement against Australia in Hong Kong. No changes for Scotland, but plenty of changes required, chasing a 12-point deficit against the All Blacks. Weakened they may be, but they are still massively strong.
Now, no hands! Arrive up!
Adam Thompson plays scrum half.
Take him back.
And who is there to claim that for Scotland? Nobody. Oh, nobody, and now it's Richard Kahui with a simple run to the line. Will he reach there? Oh, and now Sean Lamont, the try is scored. Lamont is injured. What a dreadful, dreadful start to the second half for Scotland. A gift of a try to Richard Kahui.
Well, could anything more go wrong for Scotland now in the first few minutes of the second half? I mean, just nobody took this kick. Look, it's a huge kick. Why is nobody under there? Is Chris Patterson too deep? it lands in no man's land, it bounces in. I talked at the end of the first half when Sean Lamont didn't get the bounce the ball. Richard Kahui got a look at Sean Lamont's right hamstring, just goes there. That's him out for the next few weeks. That's gone. But more than that, this game's gone from Scotland's perspective, because 23 about to be 25-6 probably. That's an awful long way back to come.
Well, Stephen Donald, as Hugo Southwell comes on for the injured Sean Lamont. And 7 points, and New Zealand are moving with 2 minutes played in the second half, moving out of sight.
This is the end of it here. It's just a run-in from Richard Kahui, but they've not really had to work too hard for the 3 tries they've scored. The first 2 tries came from their own kicks. That came from, well, I suppose another kick that wasn't taken by Scotland.
The long road has grown longer still for Scotland to try and come back in this second half. Gifting the All Black tries is foolish indeed. Rokothoko, magic in his feet. Back in field to Kieran Reid. Reid looking around at his leisure for supporting players. Nonu. And Blair somehow turns it over.
Nothing wrong, he's not there.
Ali Hogg sees a tiny little bit of space, quickly closed up. And it begins again through Corey Jane. First touch of the ball for the replacement fullback. Thompson links with Donald.
Now way 13.
The All Blacks now growing in confidence. Nonu, little chip, not too many people chasing. Tom Evans is there. Sees a forward in front of him, but Reid was plenty quick enough.
And away, Black! Don't dive in. Disadvantage, knock on.
Jacobson rolls forward. Hines finds himself clear. Now Blair, Mike Blair. 3 All Blacks in front of him, no white shirts beside him. The chase from Patterson, and it's Patterson against Kahui. Kahui wins.
Hands away now, White! Still in.
Hands away, White, All Blacks ball. And Adam Thompson there again. Boric alongside him. And Kahui coming in to play scrum half. Oh, ugly ball. So Donald has to be smart and, well, does well in the end with what he was given.
Yeah, he got it away. That's all you need to do in that situation under that sort of pressure. But Mike Blair, what another. This was the end of the break, but a great kick through for Chris Patterson. Didn't quite bounce up. Richard Kahui defended very well, secured the ball. It's all you have to do. Scotland tried to get him in a touch, he didn't, but they've now got a good line-up position to start an attack.
Three Black open.
He guddled it. John Barclay under severe pressure, but he did what he needed to do. He got into touch.
Oh, and a good move from Scotland, and Blair, who's with him again. Rossford couldn't quite grasp that ball.
Hands off, White!
Slick move in the line out. And Godman trying to take this one. The knock on. Scotland will have the scrum. My goodness, they had a chance there.
Well, the captain single-handedly is almost trying to get Scotland back into this game. Again, off the training ground. He puts his step onto Tobacco, but I'm not sure that pass was ever on. He's always trying to offload it, which is exactly the right thing to do. But sometimes, and maybe that was it, he just needed to take it down, take the ball down, because it was got right in behind the All Black defence. Quick ball then could have resulted in a try for Scotland.
Well, it's
okay, we'll wait for when to go.
Mike Blair,
we'll keep the clock going.
Supporting cast against the All Blacks at the moment. It's only a little bit harsh on the rest of the Scotland team who are competing manfully, but Blair shines brightest.
Crouch, touch, balls, engage.
So the Scottish scrum looks rock solid and shunts that All Black pack back. It's them onto the back foot. Cairns firing passes out. Tom Evans, and again that ball lost. Side entry though, and Scotland have the penalty. All Tom Evans wants is a little bit of space.
Yeah, he needed more space than that, because all the All Blacks did there, even though Scotland were putting passes behind decoy runners, you can see here going behind Southwell there. He needs a bit more space than that, because Corey Jane's just come off the park. He's no slouch himself.
Scrum option.
He needs a bit more space, Tom Evans. Ball in the right hand, gives a hand off, but you can see actually it was just a flailing boot actually.
Last one, perfect.
That the referee penalised, but they've taken the scrum.
Good last scrummage, says Wayne Barnes. Let's do it again. Well, Scotland would love that. Tom Evans, former boy band member, flying machine, one of the quickest players ever to play for Scotland. Well, I don't think Eric Liddell was no slouch.
Pause, engage. Sorry, my foot. Sorry, he stood on my foot, that's why you lost your grip. Oh, sorry, it's on my foot.
Wayne Barnes must be tough if he stood on by one of those forwards and he's not lying on the ground.
He's a barrister, he's made of stone.
Crouch, touch, pause, engage. Let's go. Far side. I'm going to go that far side. No, that wasn't this side. It was far side. Yeah. Okay.
That's got hurt. Come on, ref, go on with it. Toughen up.
Crouch, touch, pause, engage. That's just straight in, nothing wrong. I agree. Just hit the thing.
Well, it is frustrating for the watching crowd at Murrayfield. They desperately want to see a Scottish try.
Yeah, just get your head a bit higher. Let's get this over. Yeah, a bit closer.
Scrum time. Block.
The scrum, despite all its power, a real fiddly area in technique. And Scotland get the good hit on and the good shove now. And now they start to march a little bit. Blair with a pop pass and Evans forward. Just one more drive. Up to the line, but no further. Wayne Barnes trying to get a good view of this. In the huddled masses of the forwards, the ball is there.
Use your feet, not your hands.
Ross Ford is thinking about going. He just lends his support in the end.
I'll get out your way.
Attritional stuff from Scotland. They sense this is their only chance, and back they'll come again for the scrum, back 5 metres from the promised land of the try line.
Scrum was good that time.
Well, they just went for power. Talked about Tom Evans wanted the ball in space. He didn't get it, but he almost got to the try line there. I've been really impressed with him. He's not done anything really wrong. It's been a tough night for Scotland so far, but Tom Evans has tried his heart out, and he almost got over the line there without really any space whatsoever.
Closer. Nice and close. Yep. Are we there? Middle. Crouch. Touch. Pause. In. Balance. Balance. Both sides.
Scotland now have had probably, 6 or 7 scrums, 5 yards from the All Blacks line. They've not managed to do anything. They've tried a back row move. They tried just there to go with the forwards. They've tried out the backs and nothing happened. So I hope they've got a bit more in the locker, because at the moment it's not quite working for them in this field position.
Both feet.
Well, the possession and territory stats at the moment will be lying shamelessly to you. Scotland have had most of it, but again a familiar tale, the cutting edge just not there.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't lie, but I tell you, we'll see there, New Zealand there, but it's the score at the top of the screen that counts.
And Scotland's
tight head side.
Chance is lost.
Isn't he in there? Next one. Come at us.
Drive at the tight end.
Yeah, not me. Yeah.
Crouch. Touch. Pause. Engage. Middle.
Try and disrupt, but quick pick up at the back. Oh, and Weepu seized upon before he had the ball, and the penalty now to New Zealand. Boos around Murrayfield. Let's bring in Keith Wood though, because Keith, we've just seen a period of huge pressure. So many Scottish scrums. Is that still the way you would attack if you were the Scotland coach?
I think it's partly been ruined by Wayne Barnes. I would have said that as a spectacle, nobody wants to see scrums falling down every 2 minutes, and I would have said in the last couple of minutes it could have been a sin binning there for McIntosh, because the pressure they're putting under is colossal, and it is the strength of the game. They do want to hold it in. They would still expect to get at least a free kick or a penalty at that stage.
But as it is, they have nothing and still trail by 19 points. And that penalty has taken New Zealand all the way up to the 10-metre line. And Piri Weepu, meanwhile, has gone off. And Andy Ellis, the Canterbury Crusaders scrum half, is on. And there he is.
Vantage knock on.
Well, New Zealand knock on.
In the air by the winger. Scrum.
There's Ellis. He's got a few critics in New Zealand.
Very messy there. Yet again, Scotland didn't seem too confident under that high ball, and it led to Kahui's third try there at the start of the second half. And don't know if their field position is correct when it comes to the high balls. I think they're a bit too deep.
A huge looping pass, looking for Hugo Southwell, replacement full back on Chris Patterson outside him. Southwell darts inside, creating a little bit more space. Blair. New Zealand trying to shunt the Scottish players towards touch.
Just a knock on.
Just into touch.
Line up. Who's ball? Knock on first, scrum.
So Scotland have the scrum, the knock-on was first from New Zealand hands. And there's Richie McCaw. New Zealand obviously in serious trouble, need to bring Richie on.
And number 1.
25-6 down. What's it, 26 minutes to go, and Richie McCaw, the best forward in the world, warming up to come on the field of play.
Yeah, time off now.
It doesn't rain, it pours.
McIntosh is off, and Nimia Tialata is on, who's a more seasoned prop. McIntosh has had a tough old debut. There's Tialata, Wellington Hurricanes prop, his 29th cap.
New front row, but let's have the same, okay?
That's,
fine,
well, still 20 stone coming on.
Tight. Okay, shh. Wait, two's in, please. There's
Chatting away already, Tialata.
Crouch. Touch. Pause. Engage. It's moving.
The change as well.
It's moving.
Dickinson is on in the front row for Scotland instead of Ewan Murray. Now that is interesting, with Mustian on for Hines as well in the second row. Very interesting, because Alistair Dickinson is a quick prop, but he's not a scrummaging prop.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I mean, it's 25-6 down. Scotland possibly need that, but interesting to see how the scrummaging goes now, because it's probably McIntosh and Murray that were causing all the trouble. Let's see if Tialata and Dickinson can just allow us to get the ball in and away and get playing rugby quicker than we have been so far.
So he's not a scrummaging prop to the strength of Ewan Murray, perhaps. Alistair Dickinson, many other strengths. A little slick move through, and Scotland handling well. Cairns and Barclay and Blair, and now Jim Hamilton.
And no hands now. Just hold.
Pretty patterns in the middle of the field. And Jason White batters his way forward.
Now no hands.
Cairns scoops it out. Mr. Hogg thought he saw a gap which disappeared rather sharpish. And a spill from Mustian. Dan Carter in the middle of the picture there. if things get really bad, he'll come on.
Is that a jacket or cotton wool that they've got him in? Because Stephen Donald's had a, well,
here's your Mark Cookers
an
on it,
okay
please.
game here today. Matt Muchin there tries to just bounced out.
Fight to stay square.
This is the move that Scotland did. Godman back inside to Patterson. He thought he was away here, but then there was some good covering by Ellis. And then Cairns, momentum gone. Luke Thompson's there, Donald's there. They're all there, stopping it down. But again, good first bit by Scotland.
Ellis's clearing kick is high, none too far. Oh, and taken now by DeLuca, runs into his own man. Accidental, says Barnes, and no obstruction. And Scotland have plenty of men outright. Patterson sees a gap through the middle, and Patterson waltzing into the All Blacks 22. Still Scotland come, but still no way through. Barkley, a sly shovel to supporting members. And Godman, and the pass is
Play on, advantage black.
errant, and the All Blacks have it again.
White. Knock on. Scrum.
So back for that first knock on and an All Black scrum.
Yeah, again, good play by Scotland. You thought Chris Patterson was going to get away and dance his way in, but this is the end. DeLuca, look at that hit, look at the weight of tackle by Tua Tavaka. That we've talked a lot about is the difference with club rugby and international rugby. DeLuca there would have got away with that in an Edinburgh shirt and a Scotland shirt against the All Blacks. The weight of tackle and the lack of time just forces a turnover.
Twos, please. Crouch. Touch. Balls engage. Stay nice. Stay behind the ball.
Even without Murray, Scotland's scrum looks solid enough.
Stay on the players, Dixie.
Ellis did well with little time. Southwell fields and sees Cairns out there against Rokathoko.
It's fine. He's all on his feet.
Thompson again emerges with the ball for the All Blacks. And defence quickly, so quickly into attack. Rokathoko bouncing off the defenders. Nonu juggles and survives. Mialamu.
No hands!
And quickly recycled. Oh, a little chip through from Ali Williams, but out on the full. And back they come.
Right idea, bad execution. He was running out of space.
Black on the line,
He was just going to get tackled in a touch, but
you've got the line,
he's
Black.
a second row for a reason. He wouldn't have practiced the
you've got
grubber
the line.
kick too often, I wouldn't have thought.
White.
Now Gill's
Fine,
down
just a
there,
little, please.
News and
Thank
Sean
you.
Lamont.
Well, he's emerged from the treatment room and was walking a little bit gingerly. He looks like he's got a lot of ice on that hamstring. He's taken a seat on the bench beside Ewan Murray. I suppose if there's any consolation, it's the fact that his brother Rory, who's been out with a shoulder injury, I saw him a little bit earlier, and he says he'll be back and fit next week.
Well, I mean, you
Captain.
running at full pace as Sean was there, trying to get back to stop the Kahui try. When anything goes there hamstring-wise, that at minimum 3-4 weeks ago, I can't see him be available for either South Africa or Argentina.
Well, Richie McCaw is finally on now, replacing
Captain. Yeah, Captain.
Adam Thompson.
Good last scrummage, thank you. Fight to stay square.
Adam Thompson's had a good game.
Yeah, very good, very abrasive, very aggressive. Not a 7, not an archetypal 7 that Richie McCaw is, or John Barclay. And, you know, John Barclay played his first cap out here last year in the World Cup in the Scotland second string against the All Blacks. He went toe-to-toe with Richie McCaw and came out very well. And he'll enjoy this the last 20 minutes.
And Corey Flynn is on at hooker in place of Kevin Mialamu, the captain, as the All Blacks come again. Ma Nonu.
It's fine. It's fine.
Anybody's
Competition
ball.
on your feet.
All Blacks ball. Flynn.
Back you can. Black 4, Black 7.
Donald just trying to find the space. DeLuca emerges with it. So turnover ball, what can Scotland do with it? Godman, his kick half charged down. New Zealand keep it alive, and Tuatavaki and on to Ma Nonu, and now so dangerous Richie McCaw. bit of thought in hand, and Rokothoko.
No, hands, no, Seven, don't touch him, Seven, back you go. Hands away!
Manonu goes into play scrum half, and Donald on to John Afoa, and now straight through goes Liam Messam, and support is there, my goodness! A knock on at the last, and Corey Jane is robbed. Smiles, rueful smiles from Jane, smiles of relief around Murrayfield, but his first try denied him.
Well, I think we've just seen the rugby equivalent of an open goal in football, because we'll see this from a different angle. Corey Jane just had to catch the ball and take it over the line, and I don't know how he can drop that. Scotland have got away with it. He's smiling about it, must be absolutely ripping up inside, because he's just come off on the pitch in the second half. Again, it came from good interplay, forwards and backs from the All Blacks. Messam puts up, oh, maybe Donald got in the way. Maybe that's what he's turning around to say, leave it, that was mine, but I'm sorry, that is an open goal that he's just stuck in row G, the stand.
Who's ball? Going to be your scrummage, okay. 6.
We've only just entered the final quarter of the match.
Yeah, he's coming.
And another change. On comes Scott Gray, the Northampton flanker, who's been in sparkling form this season. Off goes Jason White.
Lads, we're going to all move forward a metre, okay?
It'll be a bit of a reshuffle in the back row. Gray will go to the open side.
Crouch!
Jason White's had a good game in the sense that we've probably not mentioned him much in commentary, but he's put an awful lot of work in.
Oh, the scrum has changed now.
It's got to be 5, it's got to be 5. It's got to be the 8. Pressure came on, prop went down.
Well, we wondered what the difference Tia Latin Dickinson would make to the whole makeup of this game. I think we just saw it there in graphic detail. The All Black pack they were running over the line almost, but Scotland collapsed it, and as rightly so. Rich McCaw now, I imagine, will be captain after me. Alamo's gone off. Rich McCaw very quick to just take the scrum.
Crouch!
Elaborate warm-up routine.
Early engagement, Black.
Well,
Ball
Scotland
down.
very relieved to see the free kick, and because the ball was not put quickly enough down by Liam Messam. Another 10 metres for Scotland. This is going to be quite a long last 18 minutes or so for Scotland, you fancy?
Well, I mean, very much so. When New Zealand scored first minute of the second half, I thought it could just be the floodgates could open, but you know, the Scotland have tried to fight their way back into it without really looking like scoring, and missing touch has just given a lot of pressure against them.
So here comes Corey Jane. A little bit of confusion from the All Blacks, so Richie McCaw makes sense of it all.
Stay on your feet.
Mike Blair looking for the long pass out to Ross Ford. Chunky figure on the wing.
No hands, no hands. Yeah, good, thank you, Seven.
Well, it's a forward pass from Mike Blair.
Thanks,
lost
mate.
Forward anyway.
Let's see if we can play it.
And again, suddenly.
2 knock-ons.
Messi. Messam. It's all breaking up a little bit now, Andy.
It is very much so. I mean, it usually happens when a lot of the subs came on, but you know, what really strikes me, and we'll see it in the next few phases, and you know, this is Mike Blair's trying to put it right on the gain line to Scott Gray. That pass has to be bang on, and Scott Gray's got to be concentrating greatly. But you know, Richie McCaw, we talked him up, best player in the world, trying to offload it, keep the ball alive. Didn't quite go to hand, but I've just been watching the last few phases, Andrew. The weight of tackle is just so graphically different from Scotland to New Zealand. When Scotland have the ball, New Zealand are knocking the back. When New Zealand have the ball, Scotland are making the tackles, but they're passive tackles. They're allowing New Zealand to get on the front foot, and that's why they're under so much severe pressure.
Replacement hooker for Scotland, Dougie Hall, is on there for Ross Ford. The Glasgow hooker wins his 21st cap. Pressure coming on, but Donald has a little bit of time. All the way out on the full though, mistake from the fly half.
I think from Graham Henry's point of view, we all know what Daniel Carter can do. This kid last week in the Bledisloe Cup in Hong Kong, didn't play the whole game, didn't play that well. I'd give him the whole 80 minutes here tonight to let him see what he can do. You don't need to bring Dan Carter. The game's probably won. This is leg one of a Grand Slam. Why not see what Stephen Donald can do, to see if he can bring some shape and structure to it.
Well, there's Graham Henry, who has been going on about this tour being so long and arduous for the players, which of course it is, and that's why he's playing a decidedly under-strength All Blacks team today. Well, it's getting stronger with the appearance of the likes of Richie McCaw. Now, Ewan Murray is coming back on because Alan Jacobson is in difficulty. A man who had his World Cup last year cruelly curtailed against Portugal. Did his calf there and he's hobbling off now.
Let's hope that's not his calf gone again. He's had a good season for Edinburgh so far.
See, Ali Williams is off for the All Blacks as well. His replacement will be Ross Filippo. John Afoa up over the halfway line.
First man there.
This game needs a little bit of structure again, but Scotland come forward through Hamilton. A little chip from Godman. And again, Evans the pursuer, but the ball beats both him and Corey Jane into touch.
Probably not the right decision. If we talked about getting Tom Evans running on the ball, there's a chance that it could have been a good bit of turnover ball. He could have got the pass.
This, of course, not the only international taking place today. Australia, none too convincing winners over Italy. England beating the Pacific Islanders, Martin Johnson's first game in charge, and Wales pushing South Africa very close at the Millennium Stadium. And highlights of that game at Twickenham tonight at 7:05 on BBC 3, and tomorrow at midday midday on BBC 2. Still 15 minutes remaining in this scruffy old match now. Tom Evans tries to find a bit of space, grubbers it forward, and eventually Corey Flynn has it.
And release him, 17.
Well, from one side to the other, the amount of turnovers, but the All Blacks have taken theirs. DeLuca now, Ali Hogg, Ben Cairns, big black wall in front of him. Hamilton, huge presence in the midfield. And through the middle, Blair for a moment saw hope. Godman delays the pass and Patterson takes a big hit. And the competition on the floor for the ball is furious.
Okay, just stay there, Captain. Okay, come towards me.
By the time Scotland do get it, New Zealand defence is settled again.
No hands.
Again, look at the weight of tackle that's coming in, Andrew. They're knocking Scotland back.
Dickinson. It's Matt Mustian, in fact, carrying it on.
No hands, you've lost White.
Turnover ball.
Back feet, just hold.
It happens again.
Stay on the players.
And it bounces nicely for Tuatavaki. Another turnover. Who can prosper in the madness? Scotland now, well, it's 3-on-1 if they move it. DeLuca through the middle. It was just Rokothoko stranded out there. Now Tom Evans. And to Dougie Hall through, and the offload to Scott Gray. Through comes Murray. Scotland creeping into the 22. Blair again fires this backline. Godman. Oh, he's so quickly wrapped up and turned. New Zealand pouring over. Ball still coming back on Scotland's side. Dougie Hall down injured and limping back onside. And Dougie Hall takes it now. He's up and firing suddenly.
Don't touch him with your feet.
Is there any way through for Scotland? Godman. Long pass out to Southwell. Tom Evans again in on the crash ball. He's thumped back by Kahui. And Evans with a grimace back to his feet.
Even lost out Black, but he was on his feet, he contested.
Nathan Hines picks up.
And away four.
It's a cross off. And Scotland again coming forward. And Patterson again trying to weave his way through. And again the ball is spilled.
He's right, okay, he's still got the ball. No hands.
And huge frustration rolls down from the stands at Murrayfield. And into touch. And all the way back to the halfway line.
Yeah.
Well, again.
Numbers.
Oh, here we go. Just what we need. Best player in the world, arguably. Sometimes unarguably, but here he comes on. But again, Scotland, a lot of perspiration, but no inspiration there in that last play. But again, I'm going to say it again, the weight of tackle that's coming in from the All Blacks is just knocking Scotland back. I mean, look at here, this is Kahui, just absolutely, the timing and the technique was fantastic, and it was targeted at the ball. And here's the end, this is Chris Patterson, tries to offload it. I tell you, Filippo gets caught there, but when the chip went on, if they'd stayed in field, Tuitavaki could have been away again. But
well, a lot of changes now. In fact, the whole bench on for Scotland. Rory Lawson on for Mike Blair. Dan Parks on for Godman. Dan Carter on for Donald.
That's fine, he stepped through.
Dan Carter being disrupted there, and Hamilton carries it on. So Rory Lawson.
And over release 16, thank you.
Hamilton again has been a big ball carrier for Scotland. But the All Black tackles a resolute. Hogg.
It's all on your feet.
And again, stolen ball. And disappointed Scots. Liam Messam emerging with it.
And release.
Dan Carter is on for Andy Ellis. So Dan Carter in playing scrum half now.
he's just showing off, isn't he?
At least they didn't put him on at prop. Big tackles coming in from both sides now. Pick up by Tialata. On to Corey Flynn.
First one, man isolated, man held on.
Scottish penalty. Well, Andy, you'll seldom see such huge endeavour for so little return.
Unfortunately, that's been the story with Scotland over a number of years, really. And again, I thought today Scotland just had a few more tricks in the bag here tonight. That they'd some players in form, good players in form. You know, Sean Lambert, before he went off injured, we didn't see much of him. Tom Evans has tried. DeLuca and Cairns have had a really tough time in the midfield, and that was my one worry about the Scotland side. That I just thought, you know, their development has been a good one, but then this is a steep learning curve when you're playing against an All Black side, irrespective of who's in the team.
Dan Parks, fly half now for Scotland, and here is Dan Carter, scrum half extraordinaire. Nonu wrestling his way through. Richie McCaw, the link man, and Rokathoko. Corey Jane outside him. A mighty swipe, and Kieran Reid keeps on rumbling. Kahui.
And away!
Stephen Donald. Oh, and it works well for him. and offloads well, and now it's a race, and it is the forward, it is Anthony Boric who wins, and a final seal put on this victory for the All Blacks, and up to 30 points they go, and it is a first try for Anthony Boric.
When Donald put the kick on, the first kick, I thought bad decision, but then it bounced up for him and then he offloaded it to Boric here. When he did this here, when Donald first took this, I thought wrong decision, little grubber to himself, but look, he got the ball and it went down, offload to Boric, and then Dickinson did not have the pace to stop the big second row. And to be fair, New Zealand are well deserving of that score. They've botched the try when Corey Jane only had to touch it over the line, and they deserve it for all their effort, but the scoreline now doesn't look too good from Scotland's perspective.
Maybe playing scrum half, but he's the man taking the kicks. Dan Carter takes his personal total up to 836 points in his still fairly young career, many years ahead of him, and New Zealand to 32 points. And this has been a humbling afternoon or evening for Scotland, Andy.
And you know, we've been here before. Gregor mentioned at the top of the programme the high expectation level at the start of last year's Six Nations, and it came crashing down in that first defeat to France. And yet again, when there was a lot of expectation, obviously mine included, that Scotland could do something here this evening, and you just can't make mistakes that they have against any side, but especially the All Blacks.
Well, they're now playing with abandon and attacking at will. Oh, little blind offloads, and Tuatavaki with a chip and the chase, and Tuatavaki somehow has it. And this is relentless, merciless black rain pouring down now in Scotland,
Advantage.
and they have the advantage, the All Blacks.
Not on the floor.
Carter, Manonu, Rokothoko spins and wheels his trademark move.
He was holding on, we'll come back.
All the way
Original
back
penalty.
for the penalty.
Yeah, they're just running wild now. Richie McCaw, just good hands from Kahui. Yet again, the chip comes in here to Tuatavaki. Now, I don't think this is going to make a difference in the night, but New Zealand have had the bounces of the ball, because so many times it's just gone into a black shirt, and that sometimes goes for you, sometimes it doesn't. We saw Laments in the first half, it went from him. There was Kahui, there was Donald before, and there was Tuatavaki.
I think you're right to preface that by saying it didn't make a huge difference to the outcome, and New Zealand have another chance with less than 5 minutes remaining. Another try. Through the middle comes a four. Advance party sets off, but the ball seems to have been fumbled forward. And Scotland have it.
Baker, no, silly.
So Scotland throwing caution to the wind and gives it to Tom Evans, and Evans is away, looks inside and finds support, and it's there from Southwell. Just for a moment, a glimpse of what Tom Evans can do in the open spaces, onto Hamilton and linking with Mustian, trying to get that ball back, but tired bodies for Scotland. And then in coming Jim Hamilton illegally.
We've been talking all night about getting the ball to Tom Evans in space, and then again it was from behind the own line, but he's not short of pace, but he got away from him. Good pace by Hugo Southwell inside to be in support. Tackle there by Corey Jane. Quick ball, quick turnover there from Scotland, but again they just couldn't find that killer pass, the killer angle that could have translated that and transferred that bit of pressure into a try.
Seem to have a little bit of extra strength and fitness about them.
Yeah, but no hands.
In these are the final stages of the game.
the reason you won the ball is because you went off your feet. Number 19.
Thanks. The culprit, Scott Gray for Scotland, and an All Blacks penalty, which I don't imagine they'll kick for goal. Dan Carter thumps it to the far side.
Well, the members of the press here at Murrayfield have announced that Richard Kahui is the Murray man of the match. He scored a try just after half-time, but he's also just brought a very good bit of direction to the All Blacks team here tonight. He's not done anything flash, he's made big hits. We saw the one on Tom Evans earlier, but he's also just marshalled the troops very well, and rightly is the Murray man of the match.
So will the All Blacks have the last say in the final minute and a half? Goes into Scottish hands. Rory Lawson in there excavating.
Advantage over, stay on him, Davey.
Oh, Rokothoko, juggler extreme, but keeps it alive, and now Tuatavake, and on to man of the match, Kahui. Ma Nonu and Rokothoko. And Richie McCaw, anxious to be involved in his cameo appearance today. And this time Scotland have the penalty. New Zealand diving in. Rory Lawson gets things going. And the offload finds Canterbury man Corey Flynn. And again, suddenly desperate defence. Tialata and Liam Messam linking well.
Advantage.
This time Scotland have the advantage.
Just lost forward.
Well, that may be
probably not
the final act of the game.
Full time.
And in fact, a long blast on the whistle of Wayne Barnes, and a hard evening at Murrayfield for Scotland. They came here with great hope. Perhaps they knew it was slightly misplaced, but it was there nevertheless. But they have been taught a lesson by some boys in the All Blacks jersey, boys against men, but the boys winning.
Yeah, they have. I mean, the All Blacks haven't had to play that well to beat Scotland tonight, and that's what will disappoint Frank Hadden and the rest of Scotland's squad. But, you know, Scotland cannot afford to make the mistakes they've done tonight, and they've really been taught a lesson in the contact. They have been blitzed just about every time they had the ball, and when they didn't. What New Zealand did here tonight wasn't flash, but it was done so accurately on contact, and the weight of tackle and the weight that they went into the contact, and it's been a real lesson.
A few words of praise though for the All Blacks, despite all the players who have gone to Europe and been discarded. Carl Heyman, Byron Kelleher, Aaron Major, Luke McAllister, Chris Jack, Rico Gear. I mean, the list goes on, and others have gone to Japan, others have retired almost quite early, and still they have a second team, largely a second team, which is so impressive.
But they've just got so much rugby production line over in New Zealand, so many good players, and you know, I possibly underestimated these players because a lot of them I didn't know too much about. Messam and Reid in the back row, but they were outstanding tonight in the contact, like I've mentioned. So, you know, I think there's a lot of lessons to be learned from Scotland tonight. This All Black side will get better. There'll be a different side that plays next week in Dublin. You know, they've won the first game of the Grand Slam tour that they're aiming for, and you know, when you can bring on the bench, off the bench, people like Dan Carter there and Richie McCaw, even though he was playing standoff, scrum half, then you can see the power that they've got and the depth that they've got.
Talking to his former Canterbury friend Matt Muston, playing for Scotland today. Another Canterbury man, Richie McCaw, just on lately in the game, but a hugely impressive performance. And well, among all the impressive performances from the All Blacks was Richard Kahui, and he's down now talking to Jill.
Well, congratulations, Richard. It was a tough ask to find a man of the match today. You played well. How was it for you?
Yeah, it was a tough game. It was everything we expected. When you coming here at Edinburgh, it was going to be a massive game, and these guys came out and they were real physical, and they really took it to us, and they found a few weaknesses in our side today, so it's good for us going forward. But it was an awesome game, enjoyable game, and good to come out on the right side.
It's a long, hard tour, this trying to win a Grand Slam across here. Competition for place is very tough. Do you think you've staked a claim now for further honours?
So was it?
Do you think you've staked a claim now to keep your place in this All Black team?
Well, you can't really judge a performance just one game at a time. You kind of, for me to make a real stake for myself, I'll have to do it week after week. So, and at the moment, Comrade's playing really well. He's put 4 or 5 weeks really good back-to-back performances. So, the challenge for me is to, not just to do it one-off, but to keep going and keep building on the performances.
Did Scotland perhaps give you more of a game than you expected?
No, we certainly expect them to come out firing and be as physical, and they threw everything at us, the kitchen sink, and I think it's a credit to us, our defence at times. We scrambled and managed to keep them out from over the try line, but they really brought their game today, and it was a real physical game, and there's going to be some sore bodies tonight.
And great to get your name on the score sheet as well.
Yeah, it's always nice to get your name on the score sheet, but it's there's 22 other guys here that played really well, and one try, someone scoring a try is really a combination of the whole team doing their job. So, it's really everybody's, but it's nice to get a dot now and then.
Okay, well, you are the Murray man of the match. I'd like to ask David D. Murray to present you with your celebratory bottle of champagne. Well done, enjoy that.
Yeah, I might have to save it till the end of the tour, hopefully.
Okay, well done. Thanks, Richard.
Thank you very much.